Afternoon, how are you doing? How is everybody today? Everybody survived PPI? Particularly big move today, was it? But bit of a confusing one today. Afternoon, Ian, Edward, from Emac, Europe. How are you doing? Virginia, Baggy, Julio, Gregors, Evans, Peter. How is everybody? Surviving? We've got no more news this afternoon apart from crude inventories, which is at 3:30. So we've had all the US news this afternoon. PPI figures all mixed with retail. So PPI was all down, which would indicate slightly negative. Retail was positive. So it's a kind of a mixed bag there, really. So difficult afternoon, Peter. So yeah, difficult afternoon, really, of news US dollar wise. No real indication as to either direction. Excuse me. As you can see, US dollar CAD, bit of a whipsaw. US dollar Swiss, bit of a whipsaw. US dollar yen rallied. Got out the other half of the US dollar yen, so I'm flat that now. Decided to put a trailer on it because I'm still not convinced this move on the US dollar is the right move. I don't think that news yesterday was as bad as that. I think this is all going to undo. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So I banked a few bits and bobs today. US dollar yen, as I said, just got out of that one. So both of those shorts are now done. What else have I got out today? Euro odd. Closed that one out. That was fairly easy in and out in a week. Euro New Zealand closed out this morning. So that one's finally done and dusted. And pound New Zealand as well. That was a straight in, straight out from yesterday. So in, out, went further. Entered long on that one today. So really quick move on that from RSI to RSI, look, in 24 hours. So entry short, out, entry long. Huge move. So just going to target sort of round about there. Fairly close propulsion gap. That's 50% of the move. So we'll see if we can get half the move back. DAX this morning. Nice clean break on the DAX this morning. Very easy. I took such a tiny amount of this move on this account. The other account I did okay. But this account, I got a little bit of stage fright on this one this morning. So yeah, we pushed up. I took 1.5R instead of waiting for the 2R, and then got stopped out on the break even. If the other account, I let it run, and it got to the 2R, then broke even, and then I trailed out at 3R-ish. So I took about 5R out of it this morning. But it went a lot further than that, way above 5R today. So very nice move on the DAX. Nice clean break. US indices, obviously, we've had a lot of whipsaw off the news. So the open, I think it's probably going to be all right today. But obviously, when you get a big move ahead of the open, sometimes the markets run out of steam. However, this is more of a whipsaw rather than a move. So I think we'll probably be all right today. But we'll see where we go. So we got 4 minutes to the open. There's tons and tons of ADRs and RSIs. I went through all of these this morning. Not the ADRs, but I went through all the RSIs this morning. We had a lot more than this lit up. So I went through every pair this morning. We just went straight through the alphabet from oil all the way up to the Aussies. And I did every pair. I'm not going to do all the analysis again. Because I don't think there's any point in doing any analysis until we know whether or not this US move is going to hold or whether it is going to turn into a V-shaped recovery in this case. So I'm not sure what this US move actually is yet. And I was hoping we were going to find out on PPI, but PPI hasn't really given us any clues. So we've got unemployment claims tomorrow, but we'll see where we go. So there's plenty of ADRs. We'll have a quick look through those in a minute, but we'll watch the open first of all. So looking at the indices, obviously DAX this morning broke to the upside, very nice and clean. Very difficult to pick a target to the upside. We're running into an area of accumulation, this nice area of balance, which we sat in for a good month, roughly. So we're bang in the middle of this area of balance at the moment. So this could go absolutely anywhere from here. Could go up or down. The Dow, we are running up into previous month's high and that high there. So we got a lovely previous support turned resistance, which we're running into. So upside target is that monthly high, very, very close today. We're likely to find limit orders triggering there to drive us back short again. Downside target obviously is yesterday. So 150 ADR just to get back down to the break point yesterday. So there's if it goes short, there's just an absolute ton of space. S&P, same thing for the shorts, same thing for the longs. We got a monthly high coming up, which is within ADR. So that's where I'd look for limit order triggers today. The NASDAQ, we are out of that monthly high already. We've got this other previous high, which we've already pierced today actually as well. So NASDAQ's a little trickier. We're out all-time highs, aren't we? We've broken all-time highs, but obviously limits have triggered at the highs here off the news, so difficult one. The NASDAQ's a little out of sync with the rest of the indices, so we will see where we go. It's a tricky one today. Always a tricky one, but it's even trickier today. Right, 40 seconds to the open, so we'll see where we go. Afternoon, Monkey. I know it's been asked before, but what indicator shows your trading results by symbol and day? This is the Trade Manager dashboard. That. Put a link in the chat. It's that one. Oof, oil's dropping. Market's open. Why haven't we taken any trades? Why am I? What's going on? Okay, I'm long the Dow and long the S&P. Why is this not trading? Invalid orders for some reason. Why is this? Why? So I'm in. I'll do it on this terminal. I'm in the Dow long. It's on its way to TP. I'm in the S&P long as well. Got really nice slippage on the S&P, as you can see. So Dow is virtually at target already. NASDAQ, no trade taken on that. The range was too short. But we're long on the Dow. All orders are in place there. Absolutely fine. No problem at all. But it hasn't traded anything here for some reason. I really don't know what this error is. This is every 2 to 3 weeks it does this. It suddenly goes, nah, not going to place your orders anymore. This is from the broker because that one is absolutely fine. TP hit on the Dow. Bloody typical. There goes 3.5 grand. I've no idea why that hasn't worked. Invalid stop loss or take profit. You can't because you don't even place one. I really don't know what that problem is. Anybody else not triggered an order today? Why? Something very weird gone on there. And I only managed to get one DOW order on over there. This market must have moved really fast. It's frozen on me again, look. So for some reason, I've only triggered one DOW order there. I didn't see what happened on the 1 minute chart. It must have gone so fast, didn't get the orders on. Didn't trigger mine on IC markets either. Yeah, weird. Something's not right there, is there? We got something to do with the volume come through again. I only managed to get one order triggered on the DOW, which has hit TP. And I've got massive slippage on the S&P as well. I wasn't watching. I didn't see how fast it moved. It's a problem with this strategy. It just can't get the orders in. For some reason, it just cannot get the orders placed. I've got to think of a solution for when it does this. It doesn't do it often. When it does, it's so bloody annoying because that's a 2R hit to the upside, which I haven't now got. Never mind. Grin and bear it. Afternoon, Hamza. Afternoon, it's time. Afternoon, Mark, Brian, other Mark. Afternoon, David. Everybody else who I haven't said an afternoon to. Thoughts on GJ and when it's going to stop rallying? No idea. No reason why it should. Well, actually, it should do actually today because the pound has had negative news. So we are starting to roll over on the pound, as you can see. I've got trading stop running on the pound CAD, by the way. We've filled the propulsion gap, so I've stuck a trailer on it. Reason being, we've got oil news at 3:30 in an hour. And what I don't want is, for any reason, the Canadian dollar to tank, which means that'll pop. So I've decided to trail that one because it's sitting in $300. Might as well keep it. But yeah, the pound yen, all the pound pairs are dropping. But as you can see, this is rallying again. This yen is really, really weak again. Just no strength in the yen at the minute, as you can see. Absolutely getting creamed. Don't know. Tricky one, that one. Got stopped out the NAS shorts. I know, Robert, I know what that error is. It's happening when your pending orders are too close to the market price. Yes, I know. Yeah, I know what it is. I don't know a solution for it. The solution is to program it to take market orders. That's a massive ball ache. Can't be asked. It only does it once every couple of weeks. It's not a big enough problem to recode the entire thing to place market orders. Could do, but it's just EMAC triggered on the US 500. Yeah. Found changing the time to 1 minute less for the opening range ends up not missing the big move. So if you're doing pre-market 5 minute, do 9:25 to 9:29. That would work, possibly. Right, S&P is still moving. NASDAQ taking the 5 minute opening range. Have triggered long. So long on the NAS. See if I can make some money out of the NASDAQ. The only problem with placing market orders is you're never going to get the right stop loss. You're never going to get the right lot size on it. So it would have to be working on fixed lot only, which is no problem. I can do that. But you wouldn't be able to calculate a lot size based on stop loss because it can't. The problem is the EA cannot calculate the TP and stop loss, which is why you get that error message, invalid TP and stop loss, because your broker is requoting you. So we can't use a percentage risk model because if we can't use a stop loss, we cannot calculate a percentage risk. We could only use fixed lots, which isn't a problem. In fact, that's probably the best thing to do is just switch it over and use, instead of percentage, use fixed loss. And then you won't have that problem, will you? Don't know. NASDAQ is struggling at the highs at the moment. So the Dow has tapped up into pre-market high and rejected that. So there's your 5-minute initial move on the Dow. That's straight up into that pre-market and rejected. So we'll see where we go from here. But market certainly looks like it wants to go long. US dollar at the moment, looking a little weak at the open, which will obviously give the indices a chance to rally. So it'd be interesting to see what the US markets make of the news on the PMIs today as to whether or not they decide to rally the dollar or drop it further. If they do drop it further, obviously, we should get a good rally in the indices this afternoon, which would be nice. Obviously, it's going to go without me today, or on this account anyway. There's a few other bits and pieces going into profit at the moment. New Zealand dollar Swiss is coming down quite nicely. So we've had that massive rally from the New Zealand dollar, which seems to be weakening a little now. Across the board, all the New Zealand dollar pairs are starting to roll over this morning, apart from against the yen. So we've had that, all that money yesterday that came out of the US seemed to rally into the Aussie and the New Zealand dollar. So that is starting to roll over finally. So New Zealand dollar Swiss, my target on this at the moment is just above these highs from the previous day, which is ADR basically today. So seeing if we can get kind of 50% of that move retraced. Obviously, pound CAD I've already covered. That one is got a trailing stop on it at the moment. TP is basically at the weekly high. Everything else is kind of in. Oh, CAD Swiss. I've got the aggressive drawdown control position. So if you were here in the live room this morning, I took an aggressive drawdown control position. Stop is under the low. It's 0.7% risk. So basically, the ADR on this was sitting at 225. I just wanted to get the ADR down within that range, basically, because this one's kind of got away a little bit. 6 positions on, it's just not able to get any traction. So as you can see, been stuck in a range on this now since the 19th of October. So it's almost a month now we've been stuck in this range, haven't been able to get anywhere with it. So I've put an aggressive position on just to bring the average down so that hopefully I can get out if we get back up into those highs. I've banked 2 on it, so it's in profit. So if I can get out at break even on it, that'd be pretty much job done. But we'll see what happens with it. So that one basically, obviously it's going nowhere at the moment. I'm hoping that we get a rally on oil this afternoon, which will give the CAD a little bit of a push. And I was hoping we were going to get positive news off the US dollar, which would give the CAD a push as well, but we've got nothing. So bit of a pain in the backside, that one, but not a lot we can do about that. So I'm in one aggressive. I've banked 1.6% today. So if that does drop again today, because we've gone literally nowhere all day, we have rejected the lows twice though, so it's good. That'll bring me down to just under 1% for the day. But hopefully we'll get a rally. Pound CAD ADR. There we go. So trailer on that locks in 0.25%. US indices all dropped. So going to get hedged on the NASDAQ. And that's all I'm in here, isn't it? I will get hedged on the S&P as well if it drops. Just trying to think of a quick code fix I could put in. I could write a line of code that just says basically, if you're 1 minute past and there's no orders, just hit the button. Trouble is, by using market orders, you'll get filled there. You won't get filled there. So that risk will become 50% more, which destroys the edge. Not easy, is it? What yen pair would I suggest? For what? Yens at the moment are on a massive rally. So I mean, any yen pair is extended to the upside at the moment. 4-hour RSI extension, Euro yen, CAD yen. CAD yen's not as much actually. It's a bit lower, but Swiss yen massively extended. We're above the 80 level there. Aussie yen, we're getting up to the 80 level. So they're all extended to the upside. So they're all good mean reversion opportunities at the moment. But this yen is very, very, very weak. Indices are a little stuck at the minute. There's an awful lot of volume coming in, but no movement. We're going to have a look at those again in a sec if they move. Thoughts on GU and EU? Don't know. Wait for the US dollar to decide. Obviously, at the moment, based on those figures yesterday, you want to be basically selling the US dollar. So you want to be buying pound US and you want to be buying euro US. However, if you're mean reverting it, you want to be selling it. It's an impossible to answer question. My thoughts on it are wait, because we don't know whether this move is going to get recovered or not. This seems like a very strong reaction to a 0.1 differential, which is basically what we got yesterday. Yeah, we got a 0.1 differential on all three numbers, which is nothing. That move of 200% of ADR on a 0.1 differential is way bigger than expected. So I would expect at least a 50% retracement on it, if not an A-shaped recovery, because I think the market's overreacted. I was waiting for Powell to come out today. We had no news today from the Fed. I was expecting Powell to come out today and try and calm the market a little bit and say, look, well, hang on a minute. It's a little bit early to be saying we're going to drop the interest rates, because that's what the market suddenly assumed yesterday. The interest rates were going to drop very fast. Not the case. So I was expecting a little bit of reining back, but we didn't get it. So waiting for Powell basically to come out and say something, because at the moment, this is a little bit strong. Surely if this yen weakens, weakness continues like this, Suzuki is going to have to drop things again. When it's not, is it? Look, if it gets back above there, so we need 225 ADR on the US dollar yen. If it gets back above that high, yes, he will, and we will get another shot. But at the moment, this is just holding the 24. Look, this is a trend bounce. So yeah, if this is what I mean, this is the thing. You can't tell at the moment what this US dollar move is, because there's too much movement in the market. Everything moved yesterday. Everything. So you you can't tell whether or not the US dollar is strong or weak really at the moment, because everything is moving. So there's nothing really to gauge the US dollar. So you can't really gauge whether or not this yen weakness is due to US dollar being pulled out of and put into the yen. You just can't gauge anything. It's impossible. So just got to wait, give it a day or so for the market to calm down. But yeah, I mean, if that US dollar yen rallies back up above that level, then Suzuki will be dropping the hammer, so to speak, which it's certainly trying to do at the moment. But this is not US dollar strength, look. This is weakness in the yen, not US dollar related. And that is nothing, they don't care. They don't care if the Swiss yen rallies 150 ADR. They're not interested in that. All their investments are in dollars. That's what they're interested in. Afternoon, day trader effects. Are you on your way to making $1 million with the Asian breakout strategy? Nope, I'm not trading the Asian breakout strategy. No. I haven't even looked into it yet. It's the Asian reversion strategy, rather, isn't it? I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. You're in my Telegram, Mark. And in my to deal with list when I get round to it. You're around to it. When I get around to it, I will look at it. But I haven't had a chance to get around to it yet. Right, so hedged on the NASDAQ. Typical. So yeah, NASDAQ hedge. No idea where this is going today at all. $5R is ADR, which is the top of the propulsion gap. Upside could go anywhere today. That is so annoying that DOW didn't trigger, because that DOW was worth 3.5K. I could just shut this and walk away now, and I can't. Now I've got to deal with it. Pain in the arse. Don't know where that's going at all. Wait and see. Looks like it wants to go long to me. The S&P is trying to drive long. So the S&P has not put in a new low. The NASDAQ's put in a new low. The S&P is putting in a higher low. So it's looking bullish. Dow is looking bullish. DAX is looking bullish. So obviously the one that I'm in has hedged, because the market's got it in for me. Afternoon, Johnny. If anybody's got any FX pairs they want to look at, let me know. I'm not going to do a full analysis on anything today, because I did it all this morning. Went through every pair. So if you want to have an analysis of every pair, you can have a look through this morning's live room. But everything basically was extended pretty much beyond. There's about 8 pairs which didn't have an RSI extension this morning. So everything, obviously, after yesterday's huge moves off the CPI, got extended. So obviously that's why there's so much exposure on at the moment, because lots of new triggers yesterday and this morning on lots of pairs. So there's a lot of ADRs as well today, and a lot of these are moves undoing previous moves or continuations of moves as well. So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff moving, especially yen related, which are very, very, very big moves. So anything that's ADR hits, you're going to find their RSIs as well. So if you move over to the hourly RSIs, you'll find them all up here as well. So lots of mean reversion opportunities, all of them valid, but all of them you have to be a little careful with, because we don't know whether this is a knee-jerk reaction on this US dollar. I think it is. I think we're going to find ourselves back up here this week. There's no way those CPI figures should do that. you look at the CPI figures, look at what we got yesterday with these 0.1 differentials. Then look at what we got on the pound today with a 0.1 differential. Yeah. So same thing. We had a 0.1 differential on the CPI for the pound, 0.1 differential CPI for the US dollar. Look at what the pound did today. Swiss franc's a little bit of a different one, but we've just about hit ADR, and it's taken all day to get there. And then you look at the monster moves that we got off that US dollar, 200 plus ADRs. It's a total overreaction. So I just don't buy it. US dollar yen 125 ADR flying. Really glad I got out of that today. That was the right call, wasn't it? So yeah, so that's all I'm doing. Be very interested to see if that gets higher today. It's very unlikely we're going to get 200 ADR, but it does. Suzuki's going to be cross. US indices dropping like a rock. Obviously, US dollar, a little bit of a rally starting. So dropping out the lows on the NASDAQ and the S&P. So downside on this, main areas to watch are 3R. Potentially somewhere around there, but more likely that area there. So 3R is going to be your first probably bounce point today. Failing that, who knows? This could go anywhere, couldn't it, today? Certainly does not look like it wants to go long, though. Adjusting some targets. Euro US dollar. So yeah, Euro US dollar obviously is one of the main ones I'm expecting back down to support weekly high. So whenever you get a move like this that we had yesterday, typically there's one of two things. This is either a fundamental shift and we are going to retest and rally from, or it's an A-shaped recovery, a complete overreaction, and it undoes the entire thing. Usually what that move has happened within 48 hours. So I'm expecting this all to mean revert a percentage of this move within the next day or so. How much of it and whether it does an A-shaped recovery or whether it just does a partial will be dependent on obviously what the market participants think about this news yesterday. And also what happens with additional news that we get on the US dollar. And today we've had a mixed news. Tomorrow we've got unemployment claims. So Euro US, as you can see, I'm literally targeting middle of the propulsion gap, which is a previous high. See if we can get that hit. So 50% retracement, potentially. It can't just be the speed of the move the Japanese are concerned with, because last time they dropped it, price came down below 145 for a sustained period. Depends who you believe. The Japanese said, we're not worried about price, we're worried about speed of movement. Whether you believe them or not, down to the individual, isn't it? Personally, I think all price is a psychological level. The price doesn't necessarily mean anything to anybody, unless you are in a business which is heavily reliant on international trade, like the Japanese. So the speed of movement causes problems. But I personally think price is important, because what they did last time was, I can't even really see it on that chart, but they said at this point here, actually it was that point there, they said, we are closely watching the FX market. We are closely monitoring movements. Any moves higher are undesirable. We're at the 145 level. So the market pulled away from that 145 level. And as soon as it got back to that 145 level, like clockwork, they said again, any more movement is undesirable. So they, to me, the Japanese were monitoring 145. It's a psychological big round number, and that's what they were looking at. We then surpassed 145, and like clockwork, as they said, they intervened. They drove it down X 100% of ADR. Then we rejected that, and we sat under that 145 level with them continuously moaning about it. Then we pushed up. And as soon as we got near that 150 level, they started saying the same thing again. Any excessive moves are undesirable. At 150, we tapped it, we broke it, they intervened. We came back up to it, they started moaning again, and they intervened again. And then it disappeared. And it's exactly the same thing at exactly the same levels. We had a warning at 145 again. There. Bang. Market reacted. They came back. They moaned about it. We sat there and ground away at them up to the 150 level for ages. Then they intervened again. Yeah. So I personally think they are watching levels. This is why I've got these levels on the chart here. This 152, that is the previous intervention level we've never been beyond. That is what we got there. That is what we've had there. If this pushes above that level again, I reckon that's it. But if we don't, and we could put in an M pattern reversal, it's just going to grind down. But it's probably going to be because the US dollar weakens rather than the yen strengthening, which means that all the other yens can continue to rally if they want to. Yeah. But I personally think they do watch levels as well, because it becomes uneconomical. I've said it before in here. If you think about your mortgage, is the easiest way to look at it, right? So you earn 5,000 a month. Your mortgage is 3,500. Yeah. If all of a sudden, because you're paid in a different currency, your earnings drop to 4,500, then they drop down to 4,000. Yeah. Then they drop down to 3,750. Yeah. You're getting close to not being able to pay your mortgage. And that's what's happening to the Japanese. As this US dollar is rising, everything that they do in US dollars, all of their exports are becoming less and less and less profitable. And it's getting to the point where the businesses are going, there's just no point in us being in business because we're just going to break even on everything we do. So there is a price point, I think, where the Japanese have to go, if you keep doing this, we're just not going to be able to trade with you. So all of this stuff that we've got invested in you, screw you, we'll take it all back. What happens? They liquidate it into yen and the yen powers up. That's what happens. So I personally think there's got to be a price point involved. But some people, including the Japanese, keep saying, we're not interested in price, we're interested in speed of movement. Well, if that's the case, then why the hell did you not intervene there? Why the hell have you not intervened in the past when we've had these massive rallies? That can't be the case, can it? I don't know. That just doesn't seem logical to me, but depends who you believe. Some people don't even believe in intervention. Some people believe there's some other force that makes these things happen. I don't know what. But yeah, we're on our way back, so we'll see. We will or we won't get there. You never know. Oil is in half an hour. At the moment, oil is pulling back at the minute. Annoyingly, what it's probably going to do is come down and stop me out and then rally through to $100 a barrel, just to annoy me. I think that was pound CAD just shut out there. Yeah, closed out pound CAD, TP hit. So that was my TP on pound CAD, which was this high. So that's banked. CAD Swiss rallying, so the aggressive drawdown control position on CAD Swiss is in profit now. We're just about to get a reversal alert on the hourly on that, so there's your W pattern going in. Hopefully that will then drive up into that propulsion gap and then retest from there. Pound US is coming down nicely. I'm really tempted to get out of these NASDAQ longs. I'm doing it. I'm being brave today. Closing the longs on the NASDAQ. I will re-hedge it if the sells don't work out. Everything looks heavy at the moment. The US dollar's rallying at the minute. So I'm looking for basically some kind of movement ahead of the oil numbers at 330 to the downside. And I also think there's a very good probability of this US dollar move undoing, which means if the US dollar is going to rally this afternoon a little bit, we're going to have a drop. So, but I will get ready to re-hedge this long if necessary. What am I short with? 21. $21.99. So see where we go, but I'm going to hopefully get a short run on it. If not, though, I'm just getting ready to re-hedge it fairly quick because I'll just be locking in more loss basically. Anybody got any other pairs I want to look at specifically? Other than that, there's not a lot else to look at really. The FX, as I say, I think we need to get this move either confirmed in the next 24 hours or confirmed as in wasn't really a move. It was just a knee-jerk reaction. Until then, I don't think there's any real point in analysing anything because I think all of these RSI extensions are just going to mean revert and all these ADRs are just going to mean revert. So that's all I've got on at the moment is just mean reversions on those moves. So oil's 330 this afternoon. There's no point in looking at oil. Oil inventories are coming out this afternoon. It's either going to completely drop or pump. Get it, pump oil. Don't know which, one or the other. Gold, I don't trade, but gold is a US dollar cross. So obviously yesterday we had a dramatic move to the upside because the US dollar dropped. At the moment, US dollar's having a rally, so gold is dropping. So it's basically inverse gold, so inverse US dollar. So I don't trade it though. So don't know. It's pulling back at the moment, isn't it? But it depends what happens with the US dollar. And again, you know, you can't tell. We don't know what's going on with the US dollar at the moment. So if the US dollar rallies, short it. If the US dollar drops, long it. That's all you can do with the gold. It's just another US dollar cross, but it hasn't got its own driver unless there is a fear and greed move, in which case, or a safe haven run, then we'll buy gold if there's a safe haven run. Other than that, this just moves the inverse to what the US dollar index does. So you're better off trading the US dollar index, to be honest, because it's more stable than gold price. But oil, we're anticipating $100 a barrel, believe it or not. The big wigs in their high towers have forecast oil to $100 a barrel by Christmas. That's what they said back here, and I believed them. Don't believe them anymore. I think that's going to be pretty tricky to get there in 6 weeks, isn't it? 5 weeks, or however many weeks we've got till Christmas. 5 weeks, something like that. I think we'll be lucky to get back up to $95 a barrel. But I'm long at the moment, holding long, hoping that they are directionally right, if not price right. Yeah. So I'm hoping it will rally. It should rally based on the fundamentals. Supply and demand and OPEC have all said it should be going up. But it does not seem to be reacting that way at the moment. So I'll be exiting some of this. It's going to be one of those days today, isn't it? Just checking it's not the 13th. That was Monday. Monday was quite a good day. Monday was good. 13th was good. Oh, we just had another alert come in. Euro pound has hit ADR. Obviously, this pound weakness still running. Market reaction to the CPI figures this morning. May have this wrong today. Dow, we're now coming up for 15 minutes with no direction. Huge wicks. Not really able to make any progress in any direction. Get the feeling we might be waiting around for oil this afternoon in 20 minutes, but price action's bearish. It's just not really going anywhere, is it? Look. Okay, got 20 seconds left on this candle. So Dow Jones is breaking up. S&P is breaking up. NASDAQ's really struggling. Just putting a re-hedge. Oh, come on. Just putting a re-hedge above the high of that candle there. So at the moment we are 15-minute inside bar on that candle. So this was the break short below the pre-market levels. So until that candle is invalidated to the upside, this is bearish. So I'm waiting for a move down. But if we do break above that high there, I'm just going to re-hedge it, which just locks in that much loss again. So just be a little bit more loss, about 50% more loss than normal, the normal hedge. Similar sort of thing, you know, that was your pre-market break up. Until we've broken through that propulsion gap, there's no confirmation this is a long yet. It's not really gone anywhere, is it? We're sort of 40 minutes in, no direction. So not a clean break like we had on the DAX this morning. Big sell order just came in there. Should put tick strike on. See if we can hear what's going on. Can't even hear what's going on. There's nothing going on. No volume at all. That's not the right volume, is it? A few more buyers coming in there. Just placing another order to go short on my other account underneath those lows. I'm not going to do it on this one because I haven't got any other profits to play with today. I have on that account. I've got all the profit from the Dow this afternoon, and the DAX this morning. So I'm taking a little bit more risk on that account with a short order there. If we break that low, I think we've got a good chance of flushing. This market's struggling at the moment. So market structure at the moment on the S&P is bearish. We're still undecided on the Dow, but we're decidedly bearish here as well. So looks to me as if they're trying to break short. We just haven't had enough sell volume coming through yet. So I think if we do break that low, we'll probably drop today. There's no buy volume coming in, which is why I wanted to listen to Tick Strike. You can't hear a large volume of buyers coming in. Equally, at the moment, there's no large volume of sellers coming in either. So I'm just waiting to see if we get some sell volume coming through. If we do, it'll probably be fairly quick. Same with the buy volume. It'll probably be fairly quick if it comes in buy side as well. But at the moment, we are stuck fast. There's nobody making any moves anywhere. So I'm just chancing on the short side to see if we can get a sort of bigger move in. So that's 20 minutes now. Inside bar. Not going anywhere. Another alert's just come in. Pound CAD 125 ADR. CAD yen 150 ADR. Typical. Just because I got out. CAD yen 150 ADR. So we got. Here come the buyers. Good. We've got a level coming up here. Don't know what that level is. Some old highs by the looks of things. So these two highs here, which is these orange lines, basically. So we reacted at them here as well. We're just retesting them again. They're a bit old now. But it is a level that's been rejected multiple times, look. So it's a fairly strong resistance previously. Might get a reaction at it. That's 150 ADR. So 8 hours straight up. So likely to get a reversal on this at some point shortly. Buyers on board today. Could be a loser today. So I'm just going to re-hedge this NASDAQ. I've got a clue where this is going today, so I'm just going to hold it and bank that loss today. Load of rubbish today. So waiting for oil inventories. See if we can get a move on oil this afternoon. So that, oops, that's US dollar yen. So hoping to see if we can get a move to the upside on oil this afternoon. Obviously, wait and see what happens with this US dollar. But everything else kind of just hanging on this US dollar at the moment to see whether or not we get a move to the upside or the downside. Whether we're going to undo the move or not. Market today is really, as you can see from US dollar Swiss, it's just really undecided as to where we're off to. So, so yeah, that's all I'm going to do today with the NASDAQ. That's all I'm in. So I'm just either going to re-hedge it or I'm going to bank it, one way or the other. But this is just really undecided today. So there's no point in trying to get clever and creative with it. Market's just not very tradable today. So I shall give up. I hope the forces behind the scenes pushing everything upward will just stop for a single day. Hopefully, that'd be nice. Well, it depends if you're long or short, doesn't it? AZ, 7 on US dollar, 6 on New Zealand dollar, 5 on CAD, 5 on Swiss, 5 on yen, 3 on pound, 2 on odd. So as long as there is movement, I'm pretty likely to make some money. That's a lot of positions. Yeah, as long as there's movement, you will make money. As long as it's movement in the right direction. But if it's not, you just got to wait. That's the name of the game. Patience. Waiting for something to happen. Like oil. Every time it looks like it's going somewhere, we get a big, like, no, we're not. The good thing about this today is this is a head and shoulders, and 90% of head and shoulders patterns fail. So the fact that we've actually got a head and shoulders break means everybody's shorting this now. All their liquidity's up at that shoulder. Good target for the banks. So I'm still in this at the moment, short, but that looks like it's going to be a fairly sizable loss today, unfortunately. Just annoying I couldn't get that on. That was an absolute beauty, that was today. I'm going to do some testing and see if there's any other ways I can recalculate, get this to calculate positions and do things. It means rewriting the entire EA for the odd time it doesn't trigger, which is a massive pain, but it's one of those things, isn't it? Today, I'm annoyed because it didn't trigger that order and it was a straight run to 2R. If it had done that today, I'd have been going, oh, brilliant, it didn't trigger. Because it would have hedged it and I would have been sitting here going, oh, thank God that didn't trigger. But I'm only annoyed because it flew to the upside. But anyway, what can you do? Right, I'm going to leave it there because there's not a lot happening at the moment. We're waiting for oil inventories in 10 minutes. So when the oil inventories are out, we might get a little bit of movement this afternoon. US dollar will move on oil. CAD will move on oil. And we're assuming, obviously, oil will move. This is a double this week as well. We didn't have crude oil inventories last Wednesday. So this is a double event, if you like. We don't know what last week's were, and we don't know what this week's obviously are going to be. Market doesn't do what it normally should do with these. So if this comes out green, it doesn't mean that oil is going up. It will just go wherever the hell it wants. It doesn't pay attention to the number being positive or negative. It just moves. So it could go either way, and it really doesn't matter what the inventory levels come out as. Supply and demand dictates we should be going up. So we'll see where we go. But at the moment, we're really struggling to make any headway on oil at the minute. So we'll see. WWGD. What's that mean? You've said that cryptically just so that I will ask what that means, haven't you? Will wood go down? Don't know. I'm hanging, Brian. What would Greg do? Greg would be swimming, going, counting his money from his education that he sold. That's what Greg would be doing. Greg wouldn't be in it, would he? Let's face it. That would be trading, not selling courses. That's a totally different job. Anyway, enough of Mr. Greg. Right, I'll be back tomorrow, same time, 7:50 for the Frankfurt session. New York tomorrow afternoon at 2:20. We'll see where everything's gone. Keep your eyes peeled on oil, obviously, if you're in it. I will be. Everything else, as I say, I think we're waiting. We need some confirmation either from the Fed or from the market as to whether or not this is a legitimate move. At the moment, we are not really getting anywhere with it. We don't know. We're trying very hard to undo it, but there's just no real speed of movement. So I think we've got to give this a day or two. We'll see where we are tomorrow with it. And hopefully all these mean reversions will have played out. But just be careful with everything you've got on at the moment. You know, just you're better off taking small profits at the minute. If you've got singles which are going into profit, you know, don't take them just because they're in profit. Take them when they've got a bit of money on them. But don't get too greedy with these moves. Yeah. You know, don't go for that. Go for that or that. Yeah. Just be a bit careful because this could suddenly fly. We could get the Fed coming out saying, yes, we are going to drop interest rates. And then all of a sudden this thing's going to be through the roof. So be a little careful at the moment. All right, have a good afternoon. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 7:50 and 2:20 tomorrow afternoon. Anything you need, I'll be in Telegram. I'll update what happens on the NASDAQ trade. All right, so have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow.